Your Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to begin by expressing gratitude to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the warm welcome and the hospitality afforded to us since our arrival. While my hope is that we all meet for such convenings to explore issues of growth and mutual development by changing the circumstances that bring us so often together, we must nevertheless attend to the growing crisis in our backyards. Our sisterly nation of Sudan is bleeding. The moment in 2020 we had all celebrated, which signaled a new beginning for a democratic and a stable Sudan, has now vanished. In its place, we now witness intense violent conflict that is causing mass displacement, loss of lives, and widespread destruction. It is not for lack of platforms and avenues of dialogue that this conflict persists, but for lack of foresight. My wish is to see a cogent authority at this moment in the sisterly nation of the Sudan. We must not allow the violence to continue in a state of perpetuity as this crisis no more remains contained within the borders of the country. The destabilizing effect of the Sudan crisis is being felt in neighboring countries, faced with waves of refugees fleeing the conflict. The Horn of Africa and the Sahel region will suffer greatly if the parties to the conflict continue to avoid existing mechanisms that have laid out a clear path for diffusing the violent conflict. I would like to seize this opportunity and thank again President al-Sisi for convening this summit in the hopes of finding a resolution to the Sudan crisis. Let me also appreciate the efforts of the US and Saudi-led process during the initial days of the conflict. I would like to underline that such processes, including today's summit, need to align with the IGAD-led and African Union-supported existing initiative. The IGAD initiative has laid out potential pathways, and it's imperative for stakeholders to provide the necessary reinforcement. Excellencies, complex and sensitive cases like the Sudan crisis can only be successful through a consolidated approach. As neighboring countries working to overcome our own internal challenges, we should not be passive to impart wisdom to our sisterly nation, nor should we further complicate a fragile situation by extending its longevity. In conclusion, Ethiopia once again calls for, firstly, an unconditional and indefinite ceasefire. Secondly, immediate delivery of humanitarian assistance to all beneficiaries affected by the violent conflict. Thirdly, continuation of dialogue for peace and stability by the Sudanese political forces. And fourthly, development of a transitional arrangement for comprehensive peace to manifest in the Sudan. As part of the IGAD Quartet, Ethiopia stands ready in support of an immediate resolution for the Sudan crisis. I thank you.